how to optimize your Google Shopping ads. And this is going to be specifically for more of a Shopify e-commerce store, just because that's what most of my clients run, most of my consulting students are also running with Shopify. So it's going to be more geared towards that, but it's going to be a very quick overview of the 4 main ways how I try to optimize campaigns, shopping ads specifically for clients and students of mine. So let's get to it. So first thing is campaign strategy. Now, this usually comes down to either number of collections you have. So if you have 5, 10 collections, that's going to be a lot more campaigns, or overall number of products. If you only have 10 products in your store or your brand, it's a lot different than having 1,000, 2,000 SKUs that rotate in and out, and that's going to be a lot more complex of a strategy. Now, we actually talk about strategy-specific ideas. Here are the 4 main ways I try to use standard shopping campaigns. You can even do this in Performance Max if you want to, but basically think you have a tiered shopping approach, which is basically doing 3 campaign types for a specific product or collection. So you're thinking very top of the funnel keywords that bidding with very low bids, a medium for more higher aggressive bids for only good converting search terms, and then a bottom of the funnel from either branded, if you have retailers you can include there, or just brand as a whole, or remarketing, stuff like that. That's usually, it's a very complex one. It needs a little bit more breaking down into another video, but it's a great strategy for the time and the whereabouts to actually do that. However, a little bit easier way to do it is a profit margin goal. So if you have maybe high ROAS, medium ROAS, and low ROAS goal, if you only have some products that need a 1.5x to be profitable, put those in a low ROAS needed campaign to be more aggressive with your bids, right? Versus a high ROAS, you need like 1,000% ROAS if you're like a drop shipper or stuff like that. Then, of course, put that in high ROAS campaigns, be a little less aggressive, focused on conversion rates, right, and lower CPCs. Seasonality is a big one, especially this time of year. If you want to create like a winter or Christmas themed product group, make sure you have a new campaign specifically for that, so you can detail and all that stuff as a seasonality there. And then, of course, your bestsellers. This is like a no-brainer one if you just want to get started in Google Shopping, is to take your 5 to 10 bestsellers and analytics, look at those, or Shopify data, and put those in their own campaign, just so you can control the bids and see how they respond in Google Shopping, right? If you're only doing search or pmax, stuff like that. Easy way to kind of just test the waters with your best performing products, so you're hedging the risk of actually getting a good return back. So pretty much the success equation you can have with this is you can either decrease your CPCs or you can increase your conversion rate, right? So if you're spending about $1 per click, but your conversion rate's only like 1%, your CPA is going to be pretty high depending on what your product is. If you have a couple $100 to $1,000 value of a product, that shouldn't really matter to you. But there's only so much aggressive bidding you can do until it's counterintuitive to the conversion rate you get, right? So most of the time I try to increase the conversion rate for most stores and people that I work with, just because I'd rather bid a little bit more aggressively but still have a higher payoff in the back end. Or you can take the other approach and say, oh, hey, if I'm spending $1 and I'm getting 78% search impression share, what if I bid 75 cents, 50 cents even, see how the increase overall impacts your results that you get for the next week, 2 weeks, depending on how much you're spending, and the quality of traffic. If you're spending $1 per click, do you have a way better quality and convert way higher than maybe if you're spending 50 cents per click, right? So it's always a game, but main thing is either try to decrease your CPCs or increase your conversion rate. Those are the 2 kind of areas you're playing with when you're looking at your bids and how they are performing for your return. Now, another equation I kind of go off of is the relevance equation. So another way to kind of look at your shopping performance and see if you can actually improve it with optimizations is looking at your CTR to your conversion rate. So click-through to conversion rate. Now, if your click-through is 1%, there's always ways you can improve that by either making the title and image more relevant to the search, having keywords more in the first, I think 55 to 70 characters show up in that PLA, the product listing ad, or having a better photo of that product, maybe a lifestyle image being in use, not just the packaging, make it pop. As well as having ad extensions, aka like a free shipping thing, a promotion, seller ratings, product ratings, all kind of stuff that can be in a PLA. So that would definitely have more eye-catching stuff. People will click that higher. So instead of 1% click-through rate, now you have a 5-6% click-through rate. That's very high, but I always try to have 2-3% as a goal if you can have that done. And then as well, since a shopping ad, people see the price and see the product, it should be very, very high conversion rate after that. You always want to make sure you have at least 1% conversion rate. You want to have at least 2 to 3% as a goal as well. You can have a 2% conversion rate. Your CPA, pretty much no matter how high your CPA is, should be relevant to you and it should be good. Again, the main thing is just focus on that product page, having a very clear title that matches the search term and and overall everything on the page. You can do optimization in the data feed, but that doesn't really come across on the product page. So make sure, talk through brand, talk with your marketer as well, and say, hey, if we're doing this product, it's working very well, we have a very high click-through rate, well, why don't we just have a test and say, okay, for the next month, we're going to have this actual data feed title match the actual product page title. So again, it's the main thing that people don't think about, so definitely do that. And then title optimization. This thing is probably the biggest data feed hack you could do. And I'll have another video about this later. But for data feed specifically stuff is if your brand is very important, think Nike, you want to make sure that brand is first, just because that's going to catch someone's eye way more, than say xyz.com. That doesn't really have any meaning to it, right? So for most people, for most advertisers, you want to have your brand in the second or third position in that title and focus on your keywords about the product or collection first. So people see that, the 70 character snippet before they actually hover over the title. They see what you're offering and see if it's relevant or not to them. So those are the 4 main ways to really optimize a shopping campaign from a more nitty-gritty way, looking at the actual Google Ads stuff, and then more of a kind of macro level of looking at your conversion rate on your site as well as your data feed. So again, main ways to optimize a Google Shopping ad is 1, looking at overall strategy. 2 is making sure you can either decrease or increase your decrease your CPCs or increase your conversion rate. And then 3 is the relevance equation. So looking at your click-through rate to your conversion rate. And then title optimization, the biggest way to kind of hack your data feed stuff, is making sure your title is very optimized for the search term that you're getting. All right, so that is it. Thank you guys and have a good day.